Hi, everyone. Welcome to Terry Talks. Today, we're going to get into sexual harassment, rape, molestation, and how your girl here, me, caught a charge. But first, I want to go over just some information about, being a victim and speaking out. Let's go over sexual assault. Sexual assault is illegal sexual contact that involves force upon a person without giving consent or incapable of giving consent. Let's see. Rape, unlawful sexual activity of sexual intercourse carried out forcibly under threat of injury against a person's will or a person underage or incapable of giving valid consent. Now, one in every 5 Americans are victim of rapes. It's either done by their family members, someone you know, and they say that it's more to happen in African American communities and Asian communities. Things you can develop from it through whenever it happens to you is PTSD, anxiety, like depression, isolation. You can cause physical harm to yourself. There's like millions of things that come from being molested or being raped or whatever. It bugs me that it has all these different terms. Like if someone violates you, they violate you, but they have these different terms. If the penis went in, if it didn't, if they just fondled you, there's like all these different terms for all these things. But we ain't gonna worry about all that. I wrote a poem. It was kind of raw, and I decided today, I felt like God was telling me, you don't need to do that. You've gotten a little past that point. And when I wrote it, I wasn't angry or anything. It's just I wrote what I felt. And then I reread it this morning and I was like, we ain't on that. We ain't going to be on that. But I'm going to give you an overview of my history and why this video came about. So at the age of 36, I find myself still being a victim, still not being self-aware of situations and things. And I would say, I don't know, let me show you a picture. There's this little girl here. See her? Oh, cute little Terry. Oh, pretty tiny there. I would say maybe 5. I don't know. I'm not good with remembering dates and numbers, but that dress that I have on, that dress went with me through stages because I was so skinny and tiny. So I remember getting my dress pinned and, it was big and then I grew into it. So I can say I remember things that started when I was wearing that dress. Um, there were threats, there were molestation, there was rape, there was a lot of things that should not have happened. But here I am today, 36, a goddess, like, oh my God. But it took to this year of 36 for me to be like, there are things that will trickle on through your life and you're just like, why does this keep happening to me? I thought I was over that. Nope, you're not over it until the good Lord says you're over it. And he will basically just keep bringing you things and bringing you things to be like, hey, I need you to work on this so you can elevate to your next level. I moved back to my hometown 2015, going to the grocery store, and I'm like, okay. As I'm walking through, I see, the person that molested me. And it's like time froze still, literally. My first thought was, oh, I'm finna go get him. I got some questions for him. But I couldn't move. Like the floor shifted. I legit couldn't move. And then I lost him. And I went down every aisle for probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. And then something just snapped at me. And I'm looking at my son and I'm like, oh, girl, you got to get it together. You got to get it together. But did I think moving back here would bring that up? Nope. Thought I was, done, over with it. But seeing him made me extremely, extremely angry. And I said, well, damn, here I go. I went to therapy. When you go to therapy, depending on which therapy it is, they don't really get, well, in my experience with my military therapy, if they label you as something, that is what you're getting therapy on. And sometimes it's just not the greatest therapy. Sometimes it's just repeated things, and you just don't even want to go no more. So that is a whole nother story. But at that point I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was over. I had shared my story with, friends and people, and me talking about it made me think, oh, okay, I'm over it. It's not a big deal. Not knowing the way I've acted in life, or my anger or my attitude, all came from that. So it takes a lot to do some self-awareness and some self-assessments to say, hey, you got issues. You got issues. Deal with your issues. Because if you don't, they will just continue and continue to come out in different ways from other people. Then you'll have this thing where you're just mad at people and you want to be in isolation and you don't want to be bothered. It's not good either. All the traits you have, you pass on to your child. Your child watches, your child sees. All those things pass along. So, enough about me. What I want to tell any individual or any little girl or any little boy or any adult, if you 18, if you 65, if you 6, and someone is touching you, someone is molesting you, someone is raping you, someone is doing absolutely things to you that you do not want to happen, you need to tell somebody. Tell anybody. Tell somebody. Don't be scared that, oh my God, somebody's going to go to jail, or oh my God, he's going to kill my mother. Speak about it. If you have nobody to tell, all my information will be uploaded on this video, and contact me. I'll help you tell. If you feel like you can't tell, write it down. Journal it, start writing it down. Just do something to release it, because it literally follows you along life and just throughout the craziest things. So, we're going to get to how I got charged. How I got charged. A couple months ago in my work establishment, I was doing a test on a patient, and I work with the older population. And people have the excuse of, oh, old people, they old, they don't know no better. Oh, old people, they get excuses. No, they're human beings. Their brains still work. They are who they are. They just get away with shit because they're old. Excuse my language. Anyway, I did the test on the man, and not every patient is this way. He walks up to me to act like he's going to give me a hug, and he literally just puts his arms under me and just gives me a nice old grope, just grope my ass, right? So I'm like, whoa, let me push this man up off of me. Like, this man like 80 something. I done pushed this man, done jetted out the room because I'm so fired up, like beyond. I'm getting like palpitations right now. Y'all don't even understand. But anyway, I go in my room and I'm just like, let me just try to breathe. Let me, get through this. So I'm messaging my doctor and I'm like, this man just groped me. I need to go home. And I don't even remember what she said, but whatever it was, I needed to get up out of there. So when something like that happens, a situation at work, you report it. This patient is now escorted to every appointment so that he does not do this, and that. This man came back for his next follow-up, and this is when he was accused, and his wife was with him. He didn't remember a thing, not a thing. That didn't really bother me, though. I was just like, whatever. Okay, time passed. I was supposed to get a little arm that attaches to the wall that brings my screen out to where my back is not turned to patients. That was supposed to be my accommodation for me to be comfortable at work, in the workplace. That never happened. It never came. I saw maintenance come paint the walls. They put up pictures. I saw someone else get the same exact arm placed in their room that has a higher title than me. And I'm just like, well, damn. Can little Terry get what she needs? But I'm a strong individual. If I have not heard that a million times coming, I don't know what's coming for me, but I am a strong individual. And I was like, whatever, I'll just find ways to, maneuver in my office to where it's not affecting me. No biggie. And then I'm outside during this whole COVID thing. We got to stay 6 feet apart, etc. I'm outside helping a patient outside the front of the clinic in the waiting area. I'm explaining to the patient how to take his drops. This employee then walks up so close to me, on my ear, I can feel him breathing. He says, "I want you to put drops in my eyes." So I just froze, right? Slid over and just walked off because I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what have I said to you or done to you to make you feel like you can get that close to me? Like, what am I exuding? Like, is it a label written on my head? Because people say people that have been raped and etc. have, it's just like they're like the bad people, the perps. They just feel it. I don't know what it is, but at that point, I was just fucking tired of it. Like, when I first started working there was this perverted ass mailman. Like, "I want you. You gonna go out with me?" And I'm just like, dude, you could be my daddy. Like, stop it. I got to a point where I would wear baggy scrubs. I would wear hoodies. Like, keep my body covered. I wouldn't wear makeup. Like, just not being who I was because I just don't want to draw any extra attention. You'll get to a point in your life, let me tell you, you just don't give a fuck anymore. And it is what it is. And I'm going to be who I'm going to be. So, I thought I would take it upon myself to confront this person. And initially I was going to go to the cops, but I couldn't locate one. And then I heard him yell out something. And I said to myself, I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to take a stand for myself. Never done it before. All through childhood, I was just, I'm going to be quiet. You try to tell and they tell you don't know what you're talking about, or you're too young, or that didn't happen. People go crazy with these things that happen to them. They disown people. They isolate themselves. They're angry. They're offensive about everything. It is just a whole deeper rooted energy that you just have to break down bit by bit and piece by piece. I wish I would have started when I was 12, whenever, but it started now, and it's taken me to be violated multiple times for me to just be like, "I'm gonna fuck you up." You don't want to get to that point. You don't want to get to that point where you feel like your financial situation or your job or whatever is in jeopardy. Although, let me get one thing straight with you. I'm covered. This is what we know. I'm covered. God got me. That's without a doubt. But being human and being in reality, life is life. And these goals I got outside that little 9 to 5, we got to keep this thing rolling. So I wrote this stuff down so I wouldn't ramble on, but it's always best when it's straight from the heart. And another thing I want to say is, when you're young, because when you're young women, our instinct starts to grow. And when you're a child, your instincts are, so powerful because that's how you maneuver through life and protecting yourselves. When your parents are not there, your instincts are the strongest. When you're a child and someone's messing with you and your insides they like turn up a little bit, or they burn, or you just like, whoa, what is that feeling? Or it makes you want to cry, or it makes you scared. That's what your gut instinct is. And turning into a woman, and you have used all of that instinct based off of fear, that can make you a real different type of woman, let me tell you. But I just wanted to let you know, you got to be able to balance what those good instincts are, because now that I know what they are, I'm able to be loved better. I'm able to receive love better. I'm able to be nice. I'm able to open up more. Like, it ain't as much as like a fear thing. So you got to work on it. You got to come out. You got to like speak about it. You got to have like that best friend or your boyfriend or your auntie, your grandma. Don't tell nobody that will pop off in a second, because whoever you tell needs to be able to sit with it and nurture you first. It is not your fault. You need to be nurtured first, and then go get that person that's violating you. But back to work. I heard his voice. So I said, I'm going to go handle this myself. I went up to him. I said, hey. He said, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I said, nah, listen. You got way too close to me yesterday, and I did not appreciate it. Oh, I did? Did I touch you? That's what he said. Did I touch you? And listen, something in me was just like, okay. You got close enough. I felt you breathing on my ear. So, yeah, you touched me. Your breath touched my ear. Hot breath touched my ear. Yeah, you got up on me. But besides the point, you got too close. Don't get that close to me no more. And let me tell y'all why this is a little more personal, because a couple months ago, I was just sitting out there on my phone, and he walked up to me and we had a normal conversation, and he asked me how the workplace was, etc. He's been there for years, and I told him, once I got over the man groping me, things are back to normal. Everything's copacetic. We good to go. At the end of that conversation, bruh said, you want to know something? I said, what? With his coffee mug. I wish I was that guy that groped your ass. And I was like, now I just sat here and told you something personal. Your perverted old ass want to say something like that. Like, you just never know. But I just let it slide, and a note to self, let me stay away from him. So when I was talking to him, I said, you got too close. I don't want you getting that close to me. That was completely, out of standards. And he started rumbling on like it's his daddy's fault. His mama made him do it. Like some old random. And I said, hey, I said, don't try to throw off the subject. What I'm telling you is you got too close. Don't get that close to me. Now, with COVID, we have this whole 6 feet thing. So he says, oh, my bad. You want me to maintain 6 feet? I said, no, nigga, I want you to maintain your distance, period. I didn't mean to say, I'm sorry. But I want you to maintain your distance. And he was just like, okay, I ain't mean to. So, I walked off or whatever. Went on with my day. I come back through the building, and because he sits there at the front, come back through the building, this mug yells out, 6 feet, ma'am. So I'm like, he taking me as a joke. A whole joke. Now I done stood my ground. Now I done spoke out for myself. Lord, what else is there, bro? What else you want me to do? This how me and God be talking. I be like, bro, what we on today? Cause let's go. Like, let's get this life. I'm ready for this next elevation. So I roll up on a problem, and I'm like, let's go. Anywho, he took me as a joke. So I came home, told my man he was ready to go up there, and and I was like, no, let's not do that, because the cops are right across. We don't want you getting in trouble. So we decided, let's order a taser so I can keep it in my pocket when I'm out in the common areas. I figured out how to function in my exam room. Now I got to figure out how to function out in the common area. Like, I can't live nowhere. Like, I can't get comfortable nowhere. And I'm just trying to be at work doing my actual job. And I called off of work because I was tired. They thought I had COVID symptoms, so they made me stay out until I got tested. While I was out, my room miraculously got searched. Miraculously. And just so you people know, the evil stuff that you do come back to you. That karma is something else. But the taser was found. I come back to work Monday. Here comes the cop. Hey, you know where Terry Baker is? Yes, that's me. Somewhere we can talk? Sure. We go into my room. He said, you know why I'm here? I said, yep, I had a taser. And he says, you admitting it? Yeah, why wouldn't I? It was for my protection. It was for my protection. If my job is not going to protect me, and I don't feel safe, and no one can come up there and whoop his ass without being charged, I guess I'll get the charge. Anyway, I stood my ground at the end of the day. Hopefully the right things will happen to him that needs to happen, because rumor is he's been doing it for years. Women have left this job, and Terry's not going to put up with that. And no, you shouldn't either. No one should. Everyone should be able to be free and be happy and live this exact life God has given us. Stay blessed. I love you.